Hello and welcome. Today we are going to make this super cute little fabric key fob. My daughter needed one, hers broke, and so I'm like, let's sew one up. These are the things you'll need. A 5" by 12" piece of fabric, 1 1/8 by 12" batting. Surely if you're a quilter, you have some around. A key fob hardware. Mine is 1". I got it off Amazon, and mine came with fob pliers as well. But if not, I'm sure some regular pliers will help. Oh, will work. Okay, first we're gonna iron out our fabric. I'm using a fat quarter. I've got it at Hobby Lobby, but I'm just ironing all of the little creases out of it first. Okay, now we're gonna make some cuts. For one fob, it's 12" by 5" piece of fabric. Sometimes the hardest part's trying to figure out the best way to angle it to cut it. And also be aware in case your fabric, mine is not, but sometimes fabric, you want it to turn a certain direction. Things like these strawberries and polka dots, stuff like that, it doesn't really matter as much. But if you want your lines to go the right way, or if you have a directional pattern that you like best a certain way when you have it on your key fob, you need to take into account that pattern. Okay, now we're gonna cut our batting. I have just a scrap piece here from where I've done a previous project. 1 1/8 by 12. Sometimes those little hash marks are super hard to see, even with the best eyesight. So take your time, measure twice, cut once. Okay, now we're gonna iron our fabric into 4ths. First thing you could do is fold it in half and then open it up and then fold those halves toward the center crease. And we're going to open it up.
Now, if you think you've
Put our
got
batting
out, you don't
right
want to do
there
anything
in the
I can
middle.
do it without talking you through it. But
And I tried this with double batting and single batting. Of course, my sewing machine works better if I just do it a single batting. I honestly didn't think that the double batting looked any better than the single, but it's strictly preference on your part. Okay, now let me change the thread real quick. I had it with black. I was doing a quilt for my daughter that's the senior this year. I had a bunch of her athletic shirts, and the colors are red and black, so I was using black thread for that. But I think a natural or white will look better with this particular strawberry fabric. And the thread I'm using, I got it at Joann's when they were going out of business here in our town. It is 100% cotton. I usually get 100% cotton thread. just because I am a quilter. I have some polyester thread here and there, basic neutral colors if I ever need to hem something, but this particular thread is cotton. Okay, we're going to adjust our settings here. This is one of those things where you have to really pay attention, or I do. I'm used to sewing when I quilt at 1/4 inch, and this called for 1/8 of an inch. So the first side I did was the one where it was going to be folded together, like, excuse me. But I did the open side first to make sure it stayed where I wanted it to. And you just go as slow as you need to. Make sure you get that straight line. My particular sewing machine, it's a Brother. I have 3 different speed settings. I usually keep it on 2 just because I feel like my whole table rattles when I do it on 3. I can do it on 3 and get the job done, but if it's a really big project, I cannot keep it on 3. So I'm just used to 2. I think I put the thread setting for the spacing, I think I have it at 3.5 millimeters. Mine goes down as low as 1.5 for this particular straight stitch, but I have it at 3.5, I believe. If you ever have that question in your head, I particularly have never sewed a finger, but I have broken a needle, and sometimes I feel like safety goggles probably should be used, but okay, now I'm doing the closed side just to make it look a little more, I don't know, I guess finished. It does look a little more professional when it's like both sides, but I am by far a professional at this. I learned to sew during COVID, and my neighbor next to me, she can quilt, and so she actually taught me how to quilt a little bit. During COVID, I taught myself how to sew, to quilt with her help, and knit. I'm a crafty girl, and I'm always ready to learn new stuff. My mom had taught me how to cross stitch when I was little, and so I was always pretty confident in hand stitching if I had to do something. Like I could probably sew a button on when I was a teenager, and I could embroider a name on something. It might not be the prettiest thing, but I could hand embroider a name on something. But I'm always up for learning new things, especially when it comes to craft. Okay, now I closed the end of it, folded it over in half, closed the end of it, about 1/8 of an inch, and I put 3 lines of stitches in that because I wanted it to be secure. I wasn't quite sure how these would hold up. It takes some pressure to clamp it. I ended up having to clamp it off camera because I just had to like lay it on my leg. But with a fat quarter, you could make 5 of these. J-Hope approves. Yay!